We're live. What is going on, everyone? Welcome so much to the show. Anybody that's coming in at this time, thank you so much. Take time out of your day, spend with us. Anybody that's watching after the stream on the replay, thank you so much. Take time out of your day. How you doing, Jake? What's going on?
I am good. I am good. How are you, sir?
Wonderful, wonderful. We had a pretty interesting game yesterday. Uh, all in all, I figured we'd touch on that a little bit, and then just talk about the Lakers generally, like how good they can be, stuff like that. I figure that'd be a good talking point for us and any viewers or anything like that that are coming in trickling in. But nonetheless, did you catch the game last night by any chance? I know you were busy and you had all kinds of stuff, or any highlights or anything.
I did not, unfortunately. But I'm just going over some stats here. And I did see the score, so it looks like we lost 114 to 99. So we'll just going over some stats here. It looks like LeBron did not play, Anthony Davis did not play, and Westbrook also did not play.
Yes, as well
Okay.
as Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverley. So basically, it was a throwaway game because it was a back to back game in preseason. Why the NBA decided to schedule a back to back in preseason, I don't know. I mean, I do know. I mean, they're in Vegas, so they're
Yeah,
trying to maximize as many games as possible. But still,
maximize
like
their
you could have,
time.
yeah. But I mean, you could have given it an extra day, and those guys would have played. But nonetheless, it was essentially a throwaway game. None of the like main rotation guys really played except for like Winning Gabriel, but he played like 11 minutes. Thomas Bryant played probably the most out of rotation guys, or did play the most out of the actual rotation guys, not the rookies and stuff like that aren't going to
Yeah.
be on the roster. Thomas Bryant looked great. Dude
Um,
had
but on
18 points,
paper,
7 rebounds. Yeah, but he looked great, period. Like if you actually watch,
yeah.
like go watch some of the highlights from him on the game. I'm telling you, he was very impressive. The first two games, he was looking a little raggedy out there. He looked like a guy
Yeah.
that's just coming off of an injury from last season, trying to work his way back. And he did. He definitely really impressed. We finally got to see Lonnie Walker for the first time, and he had some really bright moments, some really bright spots. But
Okay.
again, he looked like a guy that hasn't played basketball in 2 weeks, so he was a little all over the place. But you saw the promise with him. You saw the
Yeah.
length on the defensive end and the offensive end. He was really able to utilize that length on several possessions. Had some really nice shots, um, and and all in all, those are probably the biggest standouts. Outside of that, no one really majorly impressed. You got to see
Yeah.
some of the young guys more. Um, we got to see Dwayne Bacon, and a lot of people were like, after the first game, we saw him, because he put up 11.6 minutes. Everyone was like, "Oh, sign him now!" This and that, and I was telling people, let's see what he looks like with more time, with more actual run than 6 minutes. Anybody
Yeah.
can be hot one game. You and me could get out there and score 11.6 minutes if the situation's right. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Um, but in reality, on a serious note, like yeah, you gotta give more time. Played off the top of my head something like 21 minutes last night, and put up a big goose egg, I believe. He was like
Yeah.
0-7 from the field, all that. So it just again wasn't a very good game for him. And I mean, it wasn't a good game for anybody. Period.
Yeah.
As you could tell, other than like I said, Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant looked really good. They did have a lead after the first quarter. That was nice. Um, but it all in all was pretty good. I liked what I saw from Thomas Bryant. I need to see more of him in future games because, like I said, the first two games he was a little wonky.
Yeah. No, I mean, look at just going over some of the numbers that you were saying, and just looking at this. Like on paper, this looks very interesting. I would like to point out the score was 99 and 114. Just by curiosity, I checked, and it looks like all of or most of the Timberwolves starters were playing. I mean, you
Yeah,
have D'Angelo Russell in there. You got Edwards, you got Gobert. So, like, honestly, if
everybody
we
but
are
Towns played. Everybody but
okay,
Towns played.
okay, everybody with Towns, but the score was still 99 and 114. That's only 15 points. You know what I mean? So, like, if our entire reserve held a decent team, we're not gonna make them be like an all-star team here, but we held a decent team to a 15-point loss. I don't look at that as a bad loss at all.
I mean, it was pretty bad. Like because
I mean,
like I mean no, because they were down by like 30 at one point.
oh, we
like
we were down by 30.
yeah. Well, so like the
Okay.
first quarter, first quarter we were winning.
Yeah.
And then second quarter we were kind of sticking out. It was really the second half that really started to get away from us. But I mean, we looked pretty good against their starters. The starters, especially the first quarter, came out very flat. Didn't look good at all. But yeah, it was good to see some of these guys. Look, none of the young guys are good enough to make the roster. They're just not. They all have really good potential. I really like a lot of the young guys that we got. But they're guys that they're a couple years away. And the actual rotation guys that were in there, like I said, most of them didn't really play a ton. It was like Bryant played, I think, like 25 minutes, something like that. And like I said, he put up like 18 points. He looked solid. Walker, he had I think like 12, something like that, 11 points, something like that. And again, he looked great in moments. He had moments where it was like, okay, I see the potential here. But overall, just, it's going to take time. Again, he missed 2 weeks. So as everything takes time to kind of get back in the swing of things. But all in all, I was really impressed with what we saw from a handful of guys. Dennis Schroeder, he will officially be with the team this weekend. Will he play on Sunday against the Warriors? That's the big question. We'll find out. But based on what Darvin Ham said, he's been working out in Germany. That the Lakers and his coaches in Germany have been communicating, like, to have him work on things that they want, which is good. It's what you want to see. It's what you want to hear. Obviously, it's going to take time for him to get over here and develop that chemistry and stuff with the team. He missed all of training camp and the first 3 preseason games, maybe even 4 preseason games, depending on
what was the reason. Did he have a reason?
His visa, because he was in Germany playing in the Euro League so it's actually a very common thing.
Wait, he's not American?
No, he's from Germany.
Oh,
yeah. So
did not know that.
Yeah. So he was playing for the German national team, and like the visa thing is very common for a lot of players, international players, when they go over there. Especially when they're over there for months at a time. It usually takes a little while to get things worked out. But again, he was over there, signed, had to get the visa thing worked out, got it worked out finally, and now he is on his way to the Lakers. And he's a guy that I think is going to make a real impact. He's a guy that, look, when last time he played with the Lakers, him and LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they were a plus 15.5, which is really good. If you look at that compared to like the other teams that year, they were up there as like they were like top 3 or top 5, something like that, of three-man duos in the league that year. Also, that was the year that we were likely an Anthony Davis injury away from going to the finals again. That was when we lost to the Suns. Suns ended up going to the finals. It looks like we're going to beat the Suns. Anthony Davis goes down. It's a different story. But nonetheless, I really do have a lot of high hope for Dennis Schroeder. I think he's going to be great. Darvin Ham's talking about just throwing him in the deep end of the pool, just put him out there, which I think is fair because I think
starting or no?
No, he's not going to start. He'll be the first, likely the first guard off the bench behind Russ, stuff like that. He's basically going to be Russ's backup. Him and Russ have played together before, so he has chemistry. He has chemistry with our big 3, which is good. It's what you want.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you think he's going to work with Pat, though?
I think it'll be fun. I think him and Pat defensively is going to be fun to watch.
That's going to be fun to see,
especially if they're both coming off the bench. Imagine being a reserve guard and you have Patrick Beverley and Dennis Schroeder like guarding you, from the inbounds all the way up the court. Like, good luck. Like, it's just like, man, it's good. That'll be fun to watch. That'll be entertaining.
They both have like unlimited batteries. It's like their energy level is crazy.
Oh yeah, it's insane. And that's the thing that I think very likely Darvin Ham is going to capitalize on with the second unit. I think very likely, and this is why I don't think it's going to be a huge deal that Schroeder hasn't really gotten to work out with some of these guys and stuff like that. I just think what very likely to happen. Darvin Ham's going to put Schroeder and like all the young guys, and it's going to be like, just go, just run.
Yeah.
I want every play. I want you guys going 100 miles an hour, and that I think that's going to be the thing. You have guys like Schroeder, Walker, Beverly, Bryant or Jones, whichever big you want, winning Gabriel, and you just run. All those guys can sprint, can run, can get up and down the court. You could even go smaller if you want, have winning Gabriel at the 5, maybe JTA at the 4, something like that. And you guys are this team is just sprint. And it's just layup city, spread the floor. Just we might not be the best team, but we might be the most conditioned team.
Yeah.
I think that's where we'd have a lot of advantages. Just playing defense, that'd be a very solid defensive unit, and it'd be very fast and athletic, and that's where the benefits would lie. But what were you gonna say?
And is the strategy there to like wear the defense down or wear the offense down, wear the other team down pretty much?
Yeah, wear the other team down. Yeah, especially the bench units and stuff. Just have them run on them. Just wear these guys down. See, the beauty is we're realistically like 12 to 13 guys deep if we need to. And so being that deep, we can always have fresh legs out there. And a lot of these guys are very young. And we don't need any of these guys to be, like superstars or anything like that. We don't need anything major. We just need guys to just do your part, play your role, play some defense, make your layups, be respectable on your shots, and you're good. Because we have enough between LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, Kendrick Nunn, Dennis Schroeder, Thomas Bryant, all these guys, like Patrick Beverly, even between those guys, you're going to get 110 to 120 points a game. You just need the other guys to get you. If you have like 5 other guys that are giving you like 5 to 7 points each a game, like you're good.
A few rebounds, few assists,
exactly. Just doing the dirty work. Every game you're gonna have, you're gonna have 1 or 2 guys that just have a standout game because you got so many players, right? You're gonna have that one guy that say JTA just is hot, and he just can't miss, and he gives you 18. That's just the game of basketball. And having so many different guys, you're probably gonna have that from different guys each night. As long as our like starters and our main guys are consistent, that's all that matters. We just need, again, them playing defense, running, gunning, just go. You utilize our youth, utilize our defensive intangibles and switchability and stuff, and just run on these guys. No slow pace, no nothing. I mean, we were top 5 in pacing in fast break points last season. We should be number 1, maybe number 2, because the Grizzlies were number 1 last year. So and they got a young team with Ja Morant, who's just choo. He's what is it, Speedy Gonzalez? So like you're talking, you got a guy that's just up and down the court. So I understand why they might be. So we might be competing with them for the top 1 or 2 fast break teams, but we should be a fast team that runs, especially with Russ and Schroeder and all these young guys. There should be no excuse. You should just be getting up and down the court ASAP. So, but real quick, just see Thomas Bryant looks unathletic, but there's a huge overreaction after the first 2 games. He's not that bad. He's not bad at all. And look, you got to remember, he's coming off of a pretty significant injury that he missed pretty much the whole season last year. So it's probably going to take time for him to get back into the swing of things, get his legs back under him, stuff like that. That was kind of my thinking with the first 2 games. I believe I even said that here on this channel. I was like, Thomas Bryant, it's going to take him a little time, but he'll be fine. Thomas Bryant and Damian Jones, they're not going to be playing 40 minutes a night. They're going to be probably playing 10 to 15 minutes a night each. So you just need them to be serviceable in like little small doses throughout the game.
Talking about Schroeder, what was the story with Schroeder last night? Because 17-5-2. What was that about?
Yeah, so problem with Schroeder is that one, he just is so lost out there on the basketball court. Like you see him play, he's not ready. His shot is NBA ready, but outside of his shooting, he's useless out there. And look, again, he's young, he's a rookie. It's going to take some time for him to kind of get into the swing of things. But I mean, there's a reason that he is arguably the best shooter in this draft class, and he went undrafted. There's usually a reason for that. He has 6'9" size and shoots the lights out. Usually a guy doesn't get drafted and has that because of a reason. And it's because he's not athletic. He's not very fast on his feet. He's not good defensively. He gets lost completely. I mean, he was getting killed in summer league, and it's translated to the same thing here. Now, with this size,
so last night, was he getting like easy buckets last night?
No, he just got hot. So he started the game 0-7, and so technically he was 0-14 because the game before that he was 0-7. So he was 0-14, and then just ended up getting hot, fourth quarter of the game. Not just that, he got a lot more open looks. Teams weren't really, because the game was over at that point. So
I see.
The other team wasn't trying to lock him up or anything. It was just like, all right, go ahead. Yeah. So problem is that if you could put him in positions to just be a catch and shoot guy, and that's it. Like if say it's there's 3 seconds left, you're down 2, you need a bucket to either win or tie the game. Schroeder would be perfect because he's a guy that could be in there. That's just lights out when he's hot, when he's on.
Ice cold, hopefully.
Well, the problem is that when he's not on, he's completely unplayable. Like you literally cannot play him in any way because he doesn't offer anything else. So it's literally, he's very one dimensional. It is literally just you shooting and that's it, and that's all you're gonna get from him. But yeah, I mean, Matt Ryan is more of a he's not as good of a shooter, but he's not far off. Matt Ryan is not the NFL player for people that are asking. But no, there's he's a good shooter, can really light it up. Little better on his feet, little better defensively. He's not as big as Schroeder, but he's more ready than Schroeder is. So if you were going to do either of them, probably be Matt Ryan. But yeah, none of these guys like Huff, as great as Huff looks, again, he's not ready. He's lost out there. And I mean, it's understandable. I mean, they're young guys. They need time to develop. They need time to kind of build, on their game, get NBA ready, give them a couple years in the G League and, bring them up on 2-way deals here and there, when a guy's out or whatever, let them get a little run. I think a lot of these guys will be great. The only one that I think has real potential, this kid could be something, is Max Christie, the rookie that we drafted. Okay. His offensive game is not very good right now. He's got a nice looking shot. He forces a lot of shots. And I mean, look, he's 19 years old. He's a kid. Literally, he's a kid that is just trying to figure out the game, trying to figure out he's does the same thing that a lot of rookies do. Even superstar rookies play a lot like Max Christie's plays. But the reason I'm Matt Christie might be something serious is defensively, he's already an NBA level defender. He is so good defensively. He is so good at recovering. He's so good at closeouts. He's really talented on the defensive end. He's got good size. He's got good length.
Was he first round?
No, we got him in the second round. He was the 25th pick, something like that. We got him this year, and they were really high on him. A lot of people didn't really understand the pick, but look, the Lakers scouting department has not missed yet. So why would you think otherwise? And you watch him play, that kid has so much potential. That kid might end up being I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar or anything, but at worst, that guy might be a legit 3-and-D rotation guy on this team, a starting, a 3-and-D shooting guard. Yeah, he's bigger than Patrick Beverley. So he more like a it's a good comparison. Somebody trying to think of somebody that comes to mind that not super great, but he's not bad. I was gonna say I was gonna compare him to like a Jimmy Butler, like a young Jimmy Butler. Um, I mean, Jimmy Butler's pretty good. I mean, I don't think Jimmy Butler's like great, great, great. He's more of just like pure will of like, you're not going to stop me. I'm going to get to the hoop type thing. But like
Yeah.
that's probably a decent comparison. Like a young Jimmy Butler, I
Okay.
think is what he got. Christie, if he can develop a shot, like a legit, even he doesn't have to even be lights out. Just be serviceable. Like that dude might be a legit like piece for the Lakers in the next like
Yeah.
3 years. And in 3 years, he'll be young enough. He'll only be 22 years old. He'll be younger than half the guys drafted this season. So he has plenty of time. And it's funny, everybody, there's like memes and talks right now about him being Kobe's son. Because if you look at Max Christie, he looks exactly like a young Kobe. Like exactly. And he even
like his physical appearance, the way he plays.
The way he looks. I mean, you do see like if you watch tape of like young Kobe and him, there are some similarities, but no, it's more of like his look. He looks like a young Kobe Bryant. That'd be amazing if he could even become half of what Kobe was.
Right.
I don't want to put too much pressure on the kid. You never know. But hey, look, nobody thought Kobe was going to be Kobe when he was airballing shots and looked raw, and people were like, oh, like, see, this is why you don't draft an 18-year-old kid. And look, so Max Christie is 19. I'm not saying he'll ever be that level, but I think he already has.
You never know.
I mean, you never know. Look, I'm telling you, he already has like legit NBA level defense.
Yeah.
He's great at like fighting over screens. He's great at closeouts. He's great at recovering. There's so many times where like, he'll go and the guy will beat him and he's boom right back in front. Like it's just like instantly. He is quick. He is on his feet. He's got the length. He's got all the intangibles. He might be like worst case scenario. I think he's like a Tony Allen, which is great. I mean, Tony Allen was like a top 5 defender in the league at one point. Yeah. He's considered one of the greatest defenders ever, like on ball defenders. Maybe he's not that elite level defensively, but I mean, I think his floor in comparison is just like an elite defensive guy that sometimes can give you a bucket here and there, but in reality, he's probably just going to give you like, maybe like 5 to 10 points a game if you're lucky, but he's going to guard the best guy and actually make him work and stuff. Like that could be Max Christie. I'm really high on Max Christie. I like what I've seen from him so far in summer league and so far in preseason. He's just got to let the game come to him. Yeah, which is very, very common for young guys. They want to do too much. They want to go 100%. They can't really control it. They're so used to just, always having to go 100%. If he slows it down, kind of works on his game, allows himself. Like, I think he could get rotation minutes this season. Not like regularly. Like, I don't think that they're going to be playing him, every game, something like that. But, like, I could see him in certain spots get minutes just on his defense alone. Especially like early in the game, like say it's like, the first quarter, there's like a minute and a half left and it's like, the game's tight, I could see them throwing Max Christie in to try to get you a couple stops and just say, hey, like if you're open, shoot it. Otherwise, we just need you to play some solid defense, and him just being like a defensive guy that just goes in. Like, I think that he has value there. I think that's where he's going to find his niche.
And he could play what? The 3 and the 4?
No, he played the 2 and the 3. He's like 6'5", something like that. So I mean, he's not like huge, but he's got good size, good wingspan. But yeah, I mean, he's
and he played the most minutes yesterday besides Pippen. Yeah, besides Pippen.
He's 6'6", but I think he has like a 6'10" wingspan, something like that. I know he has I remember looking up his wingspan one time, 6'9", so I was close. Is it 6'10", but yeah, and 8'7" standing reach. So he's got some length. He is really long, and it shows. So that's why I'm saying like he has a ton of potential because he is really long, really quick, really athletic, and he's got a real good nose to the ball. He's gonna carve out rotation minutes on his defense. That's like if he wants to play this season, that's what he's hanging his hat on. Like if I was him, I would be like, I am going to just whoever they put me on, my job is to shut him down right now. And in preseason games and in scrimmages against my fellow teammates stuff, I'm doing everything I can to shut those guys down because they're not going to need him to score. They need guys that can defend. And if he can show like I can be a lockdown defender, I think he can carve a spot. Again, he's not going to be playing 30, 40 minutes a game, but he may be a guy that could get, maybe 5 to 10 minutes a game here and there, in certain spots or matchups. The guy's out, say Pat Bev is sitting that night. You could put Max Christie in and have him, play some defense that night, be part of the rotation, stuff like that. So,
you think they can even put him in late in games where they need a stop, or like it's like a must,
I think,
or is he not? Is he not there yet?
No, I definitely think if he was like 27 and had several years under his belt, or even if he was like 23, 24 and had like 3 or 4 years under his belt, yes. But him being a rookie at 19 years old and having no NBA experience, if it's like say we're playing the Warriors, right? And the game's coming down to the wire. Could you do it? Yes. Try to build his confidence. If he gets the stop, great. Then, his confidence, boom, and you can kind of trust him a little more. But to put a 19-year-old rookie in that position when you got other guys that can do the same thing and have more experience, I would rather go that route. But like I said, early in the game, like I said, first quarter, you're closing out a half, and it's like, hey, we need a stop or two. Hey, Christie, go in there and let's just put a defensive lineup in there. And Christie, you're in. I need you to stop that guy. I think he could do that. But fourth quarter up to Steph's got the ball, put your rookie on Steph is probably not going to be a good formula for success. But
no, of course not on a Steph, but could you put him on a Draymond, someone who's, I guess you can say, stoppable, like a Draymond, or even, it's a stretch, but Clay. And another question is too, maybe play him with Patrick Beverly, just because it's just more, it's a better defense that way.
You could have a defensive lineup of I wouldn't mind seeing a lineup out there of Schroeder, Bev, Christie, maybe JTA, and Gabriel or Jones. That would be a very good, very switchable defensive lineup. I don't know how good the scoring would be. That would be my concern, is just the scoring. Yeah. But defensively, if you needed to stop, that would be,
if you're up,
that would be a pretty good defensive lineup. I wouldn't mind Darvin Ham toying with that a little bit. I'm sure Darvin Ham's going to try different lineups throughout the season. I think he'll have his starters intact, but I think because I said, we're 12, 13 guys deep at least. And so I think that they very likely get they have a couple guys run different units, stuff like that. One night let's try this, next night let's try this, because you're very likely going to have a couple deep DNPs on some of these guys, just because you have so many guys, and you're probably not going to run 12 to 13 guys every single night. But you could run 10, or 10 or 11 guys every single night. A lot of teams do that nowadays. Ed Darvin Ham comes from the Bucks. The Bucks love to do that. The Bucks will run, 12 guys every game off.
Is that where he's from, the Bucks?
Yeah. So the Warriors, Steve Kerr is famous for that, running guys. And Steve Kerr, like he says, how can I expect the guy to be, next man up mentality, game ready if he never plays a game? If somebody goes down and it's hey, you're up, and he's I haven't even picked up a basketball in 3 weeks, and I'm expecting him to go in there and shut this guy down and go make up for the injury. It's just unrealistic, which I agree with. You gotta let these guys get run, especially early on, stuff like that. Let these guys build some confidence, add to their game, stuff like that.
And that's another reason I don't think resting and the load management is such a bad idea, because like you said, it gives the young guy a chance to kind of prove himself. So
and I do think Yeah, and I do think that this team has the capability of winning games without LeBron, Davis, guys like that. Like, which is saying a lot because usually LeBron teams, when LeBron doesn't play, they're terrible. I mean, there was like a 5-year period where like games LeBron didn't play, his teams were like 1 in like 48 or something insane. Like they just don't win without LeBron because they were so built and you know LeBron focused and carry. I really don't think this team is that way. I
Just
think
to play devil's advocate, just a little bit. Do you think that is a good thing, a bad thing, or both? If
I think
you're
it's a great thing.
so okay, okay.
Like not well. Do you mean in the sense of like not being so LeBron reliant or being LeBron reliant?
Well, yeah, exactly. So, like, do you think it's a good thing to be so star heavy reliant? Like, but you could take LeBron and honestly replace him with whoever you want. You could replace him with Kevin. You could replace him with uh Steph. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that's good though? Or do you think it's more of a bad thing?
No, I mean, if you're so here, I'll answer both. I'll answer what I thought you meant and then what you actually meant. So, like, one, I think, because they both kind of tie together. So, being two star top heavy, so to speak, I don't necessarily think it's a good thing unless your 3 stars are just like unmatched. You know, like
Yeah,
Wade, Bosch, and LeBron were like 3 top 5 to 10 guys in the league. Like you're
yeah,
just so unmatched. You know, like the Warriors. You had Steph, Clay, Draymond, Kevin Durant. Like it's just you're so yeah, you can afford to be that top heavy. And they still had some decent rotation guys, but they were able to be so top heavy just because of stuff like that. You know, like the
yeah,
Celtics, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett. Again,
yeah.
3 like top 10 guys, 3 Hall of Fame or stuff. I think it depends on the the team that is top heavy. Like if you had Kyrie instead of Russell Westbrook, then yes, I think you could afford to be this top heavy. Like if we
Okay,
had the same team we had right now with Kyrie Irving instead of Russ, I think this team is a bona fide contender. Like I think that this team might be the best team in the league, if not the best team in the league, just because of your three guys are so complementary. You know,
yeah,
each guy can do so many different things, but they don't clash with each other. You know, you got LeBron
yeah,
who's so unselfish and is in a time in his career where he's willing to kind of delegate to other players. You got Kyrie who could just completely take over a game, score from anywhere on the court. You got Anthony Davis, same thing, and play defense, just be a monster. And you got
yeah.
like 13 role guys that you could just throw fresh bodies night in and night out. Something like that. Yes. I don't mind it being too top heavy. Um but like
Because
when you're better off having 2 stars. Like if you had LeBron James and Anthony Davis and like several mid-tier guys, like so for example, like again, this is just an example, but say you had LeBron James, Anthony Davis, right? And then you had like
mhm,
Bogdanovich, uh, uh, Healed, and Turner. Let's say that was your starting 5. That is
yeah,
much better than the team you have now. And because you got several guys, and you'd still have your depth, right? Because like those
yeah,
3 guys make
yeah,
almost as much as Russell Westbrook. So and,
yeah.
and again, I'm just throwing names. I'm not saying that would ever
No,
happen. I'm
no,
not
no, no,
saying
no. I
anything
got
like
you.
that.
I got
I'm
you.
just saying like if you could take Russ's contract and divvy it up between 3 guys, and those 3 were the guys, or anybody, pick 3 like mid-tier guys. Say like
Yeah,
Gary Trent Jr., Bogdanovich, and whatever, whoever. Like that would be a much overall better team because you have more versatility, more flexibility.
yeah,
Unless Russ, which he looks really good, but if Russ really does fit and he doesn't even have to fit necessarily seamlessly. I think the reason we'll be able to get away with it if Russ works is because of his motor and his durability. Like you can always like one thing you're gonna get from Russ is he's gonna play every game and he's gonna go 110% every game.
that's
So
true. That's
I
true.
think he complements the team that we have right now, given LeBron's age and Anthony Davis very likely missing 20 plus games. You have a guy that, although he's not a perfect fit, if you can make it fit, and again, it doesn't have to fit perfectly, just enough to where it's serviceable, then I
Yeah.
think that it's okay for this team to be top heavy. I think it depends on the circumstances and the variables. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious to know what you thought about that. Yeah.
What about you though? Let's hear your thoughts.
I am on the other side of the spectrum, but I also agree with you. It does depend. So for the team that we have now, I think it's a little rough. We're like right on the cutting, like crisp right there because we have LeBron, we have Anthony, we have Russ, and I do agree because Kyrie is a higher caliber guard because you can sit LeBron, you can sit AD, and Kyrie's still going to run your offense. He's still going to drop 30. He's still going to drop 25, whatever. You know what I mean? It's going to be almost you can say easy for him at this point to do that, and he's still going to run your offense. As a good point guard. But when you have Russ, you can't necessarily do that with Russ because Russ is going to contribute. Russ is going to play defense. He's going to grab rebounds, but he's not going to run your offense when those other big three are out, right? So, I think if your team cannot win, if you're the star, if you're, let's say, one-star team, if you're the star and your team cannot win, or not, I don't want to say necessarily win, but cannot carry a game without you, I don't think that's good because then you just say you're just gonna get burnt out. You're not never gonna get any rest. You're gonna have to play 45 minutes a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just unfortunate that way. However, I think if you can carry the team on your back, but then still be able to for example, I kind of look at the Lakers back in 09 and 010, or was it 10 and 11? Oh no,
No,
or
09,
09 and
010.
10. Okay, 09 and 010. Perfect example. I think every single player on that team had a role. They knew what their role was, and I do believe. Now, could they have won without Kobe? No, I'm not going to be as naive to say that they could have won without Kobe, but they would have been because of Kobe. Let's say if Kobe would have got injured throughout the majority of that playoff, they would have still because
It
of
would have been a good team.
yeah, but I think it all depends. If you're the star, and that's the only drawback I have with LeBron. I think he makes his teammates better when he's on the court, 100% sure. But I don't know if that what he's instilling in his teammates is good enough for them to elevate themselves when he's not on the court. And that's the only thing. Now at this age he can do that because he's not playing as many minutes. He's not carrying as wide of a load. You know what I mean? So this season I'm actually very interested to see how that LeBron factor rubs off on everybody else. Because I think that's kind of that's kind of what about being great is. You know what I mean? If you could take that, put it into other people. So
Yeah. I mean, also I think it was just how teams were built before.
Yeah.
LeBron, the teams that he's always had were sort of built around him because they were so top heavy. And it was yeah, we're going to be top heavy, but we got LeBron James. And, at 27, 28, 29, 30, 32 to 34, he's durable. He's in his prime. He can,
Yeah.
he can play games. He could, you can trust that he can be that guy and handle it. Problem is now he can't. He can do it, in stretches. I'm telling you, if we get to the Western Conference Finals, I don't care who we play. I'm betting on the Lakers to win that series. We could play the Clippers, we could play the Warriors, we could play it because I just think LeBron, if they get to the Western Conference Finals, I think LeBron's going to look at this as this might be my last chance. And I think we see a bit of old LeBron because he'd be looking at it as I only have to win 8 games. If he gets to the Western Conference Finals, that's it. He's looking at it, I got to win 4 games here and then 4 games in the finals. I got 8 games in me. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to, I think
Agreed,
you'll see.
Agreed.
If we get there, I'm telling you, I'm not saying we will get there, but if we do, I don't care who it is in front of us. It could be, we could play the Clippers, we could play the Warriors, we could play the Bucks in the finals, we could play the Nets, we could play whoever. Pick your team. I really believe if we get to the Western Conference Finals, I think LeBron James, takes us to the promised land. I mean, assuming health and stuff like that. Because, if AD goes down and say Russ goes down and it's LeBron and a bunch of role guys, then no, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. But if everyone is healthy and it's like, man, the Clippers are a tough matchup, I think the Clippers might beat us. No, give me let's trust LeBron because I just think if he gets there, and even if Davis is hobbled, as long as he plays, even if he's like hobbled, right, and he's just like half of what he can be because he's hurt, he's playing on one leg, whatever, I still think LeBron wins that series, whoever it is, because I think you'll see that like Cleveland Cavaliers LeBron, that dude that's giving you 30 plus a night, basically almost averaging a triple double. I think he'll put the team on his back because, like I said, he'll look at it as like, this is 8 games, and I might not be able to get back here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like, who knows when because he's not stupid, so I really believe if the Lakers get to the Western Conference Finals, I think they win the championship. I really do. I think
Because he's at 5 right now, right?
no, he's at 4.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because he won 2 in Miami and then 1 with
Miami.
the Lakers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, because honestly, he wants to put it to rest. He wants to put the Kobe and LeBron to rest.
Jordan,
I don't. Yeah, well, yeah, Jordan, LeBron. Yeah, you can say Jordan, LeBron, because but when you get into that whole comparison, it's rough, right? Because they play 2 different positions, and it's like like you could debate it, yes, but you almost have to debate the intangibles because one position calls for one role and another position calls for another role. So it's like, it's just different opportunities, different visions on the court. So it's different modern time era. And I'm not saying you can't compare the two, but it's more so like you almost have to debate the intangibles. That's neither here nor there. But I do agree with you. If we get to the Western Conference Finals, 100%. Yeah. Because LeBron's a player that will do whatever he has to. Like, it does not matter. If he has to go out and drop 50 a night for 8 straight games, he'll go out and drop 50 a night for 8 straight games. So it's like, fully agree with you there.
Yeah. I just think, I think he's going to look at it as like, because it might be. If he gets to the Western Conference Finals, that might be his last chance. It might be his last chance to get back to that position, unless Lakers can, Kyrie comes and they're able to round out a really good team, something like that. I think that it's very possible that that's it. What were you going to say?
Speaking of, really quick, rumor alert. Speaking of joining the Los Angeles Lakers, there has been rumors that we could possibly be getting a Draymond Green.
That ain't gonna happen.
It's a far fetch, but now, so let me. I don't know if you've heard the rumors, but
yeah. So Stephen A. Smith said that Draymond should go to the Lakers, sign a 1+1 deal.
100%. I'm here for it. I really am. I'm here for it. He's. But I think it's speculation. That's all it is.
I don't, because here's my problem is, one, I wouldn't mind it. I think it'd be interesting to watch. I don't know how well it would work, but it'd be interesting to watch. But
him with LeBron.
Imagine him, Braun, Westbrook, Patrick Beverly, Dennis Schroeder. Like,
all you would hear on the court is this. Like, all you would hear.
Like, we would lead the league in technicals. Like, we'd get 3 or 4 technicals a game. Easy.
Oh yeah,
like,
and Darvin Ham kind of looks like a hothead.
Yeah, it would be so fun to watch. I would love it. I don't know if we'd be any good. We might be terrible, but I would love to watch that. I would love to see it. It's problem is that, one, they're not going to waive Draymond Green. They're better off just letting him walk at that point. But most likely they would trade him, and there are teams that would trade for him. And look, at some point, and I said this long before the whole tape.
You're pretty much just trading for the experience. You're not trading for the stats. I mean,
Yeah, well, you're trading for what he could provide a young team. Like, I think if he leaves the Warriors, he goes to Detroit. I think Detroit makes the most sense. I think Detroit would pay him the money that he wants. He's from Detroit, so he goes back home. And I actually think Detroit would really benefit from Draymond Green. But I've said this. I said this months ago that I think the Warriors should maybe move off of Draymond, just because I don't think, one, he wants a max contract. He's not worth a max contract. He might be to the Warriors, but I just think Warriors have gotten in a much better position. They got all this young talent, and after the season, they're going to have to make decisions because they got to re-sign Jordan Poole. Andrew Wiggins. Do they just let him walk? What do they do with him? And he was their second best player in the playoffs, and so much so people thought he deserved to get MVP or co-MVP because he was that good for them. And you got Draymond Green, and that's not counting all the other young guys that are right behind him.
Yeah.
In the next year or two. So they're going to have to make a decision. Jordan Poole has the most trade value. So if you were to trade anybody, like if you were like, let's trade somebody, Jordan Poole, I think would make the most sense to trade because I think you'd get the most return just because of how good he is. And he's only 22, 23 years old. So he's only going to get better. And a team would probably sell the farm to get a guy like him. And then Andrew Wiggins, I think, is the most valuable player out of those three because the Warriors don't need a third splash brother. They need somebody like Andrew Wiggins who can guard the best player, can still give you 20 a night if you need it, but he's also okay being a third, fourth option. He's not so prideful and egotistical where he's like, I was a number one pick. I deserve to be this and that. No, he's totally fine being the third or fourth option. He completely reinvented his career going to the Warriors, and he won a championship. So it worked out for him.
And he's younger too.
Yeah, and he's young. So it's one of those things where it's like, I think if you had to make a decision between those three, I think you keep Wiggins, and then I think you keep Jordan Poole. If you were to keep two out of the three, I think you move off of Draymond. I do. I just think you move off of Draymond. Yeah, because I don't think you need him anymore. You have Kuminga. You have Kuminga now, who's the same size, who's younger, athletic, better skilled overall. He's a little raw because he's young, but you could develop. The only real concern, I guess, would be that Draymond runs their offense a lot. But Steve Kerr is a great coach. He'll be able to figure it out. It's not like Draymond's never missed a game or several games or whatever, and they're still fine without him. Or when he goes and sits on the bench and stuff, they're still fine without him. I think they'll be fine. And Draymond does provide a lot to that team, a lot of things that are really immeasurable. The
intangibles is what. Yeah, and I don't think that I don't know if you get away with letting him go. Not if you said Poole and what? Who you said Jordan Poole and
Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins.
I don't know. It's hard. It really is. But it's and that's a question for you. So how much do the intangibles weigh in this case? Because I actually believe in this case the intangibles weigh more than. I know you're not getting right now. You're not getting anything from Draymond. He has not averaged in the last 3 years. He's not averaged double digits.
Double.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's a single double. No, really. But I think the intangibles, like you said, the coaching, the glue, just that veteran. It's almost having I don't know. It's we got Pops on the court. It's just
you need that bully. You need that guy. But the problem is, it's starting to get out of hand. Right? Draymond has a history of just being a knucklehead. Now he goes and
just punches Jordan Poole in the face.
Yeah, and then he goes and punches Jordan Poole in the face. This is the problem. If this was a one-time thing, all right. Draymond, he doesn't have a history. Maybe something happened, but no, he's done this repeatedly. It's at some point you're not the same player you used to be. Yeah, your leadership and just being that dog is great and all. But you're not the only one in the history of the league that's been that guy. You're not the only one in the league currently that is still that guy. We don't. The value you provide is not worth the money and the headache that you provide. And
okay.
We're sooner or later you're gonna have to go in another direction anyway. It's just I just think however you shake it, you're best to just move off of him now, get something while you can, because it's very likely. In a year or two, he will be untradeable, and you still have.
How many years do you give him left before he retires?
I think he still has 7 more years. He's not that old. He's 34, I think. So he can probably play until he's 36, 37. So he's probably got 3 more years, something like that. But the thing is that you still have guys like Andre Iguodala, that can be. Oh, I guess he's 34. So like I said, he's got basically 3 to 4 more years, I think, of just like he's 32. He's got basically, like I said, 35 to 37. I think you'll start seeing him decline a little bit. But that's the thing.
Would you take Demarcus Cousins over him?
No. I mean, Demarcus Cousins is he's not what he used to be. Injuries, which sucks because he was.
It really does. He was a beast.
Dude, that dude was arguably the best center in the league, and just injuries. Who knows what that could have been? It sucks. It's unfortunate, but it's part of the game. I mean, but yeah, I just think Draymond still has value. A team would trade for him. Go trade him. Get something for him now. Run with the young guys. I think you could still win without him. I really do. I think this team and look at it like this. You'll probably get a bunch of assets. You'll probably not a bunch, but you'll get something reasonable for him. You already have a bunch of assets. If you need to, you have more than enough to go trade to go get another like young star or something like that if one becomes available.
Oh yeah.
So they're not going to be in trouble. And even if it is an impact,
you're talking like a Tatum. I mean, I know we would have picked up like Tatum, but I know they would have picked up like a Tatum.
They have the asset. I mean, if Tatum, say Tatum was available, like Golden State could has enough.
Will they really do that though?
I mean, they could. Why not? I mean, if he was available, I mean, I don't think it would ever happen. But I'm saying like they have more than enough to pretty much get any player in the league. If they were to become available. You know what I mean? Like even Giannis, like say for whatever reason, Giannis was like, I want to be traded. I don't want to be in Milwaukee anymore. I gave you a championship. The Warriors have young talent. They have assets. They have draft. They have everything. Everything. Like they could have, even the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, they could have put together the best package in the league to go get Kevin Durant. Like, which is insane.
That's true.
That's true. So, I mean, they could still put the best package together to go get another guy. So they're fine.
I think a center would be better for them versus another guard.
I'm just using it.
I get
if it was to come up. Real quick, let's say hi to some people in the chat. See a couple things. I think we should go after Boogie. The problem with Boogie is that I don't see him ever playing. And I think he's just a roster spot, just a roster spot. He still hasn't signed with anybody. Demarcus Cousins.
No, there was rumors, I think a couple years ago, but I don't
know. He was in the Lakers a couple years ago. But the thing is that like it's just it makes no sense right now for what we have. You know what I mean? Like you got 4 centers. You got Anthony Davis who can play center. You got Wynn and Gabriel who can play center. Most of those guys can play power forward also. And that's not counting like LeBron can play power forward. JTA can play power forward. I mean, you got like literally you got like 6 to 7 guys that could all play that. Like I just don't think DeMarcus Cousins would ever play. And I just think you're basically wasting a roster spot to waste a roster spot. So I think they're better off just leaving that roster spot open and just leaving it alone. Even if Anthony Davis goes down, you still have enough to make up the slack. And look, it doesn't look like DeMarcus Cousins is going anywhere. So if you need to, you could always just sign him, at any point during the season, or Hassan Whiteside or somebody like that. So I think however you
Are you glad we don't have Dwight anymore?
I wouldn't have minded. Like him being our third big or whatever off the bench. Like if we had like another spot we needed a big, I wouldn't have minded. Like say we didn't get Damian Jones.
Yeah.
I would have been fine if they brought Dwight back.
He was a beast back in the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I want to see Blake, honestly, but that's not going.
Yeah.
Blake literally just got signed to a new contract.
Yeah. Healed Turner trade must happen. We need rim protection big if AD goes out. I mean, you have Thomas Bryant, Damian Jones, who averaged 2 blocks a game. Also, have you seen Miles Turner and Buddy Hield in preseason so far? They are terrible.
Not to mention Gabriel. Oh my goodness!
They're up to Gabriel. I know Gabriel's
this season. He is throwing stuff out the building. I cannot wait. Wait.
Block City, man, right now. I mean, he had 4. Dude, the dude had like 4 blocks the other day in like 10 minutes. Like the dude was just
and he's like everywhere too. Like
that dude, I've been very impressed with him.
I'm excited.
That guy is literally a jump shot away from being like a borderline all-star guy. If he can play the way he's played and like be a reliable shooter, that guy might be like a legit like
I
player.
want to see him take more threes. I want to see that work that he's been like doing
Yeah,
in the offseason show off.
yeah, we need that. We need that. Starting five of none: Dennis, Hield, LeBron James, AD, and Turner. Again, the problem is like Hield. It's too much liability. And you got to remember, Turner is more injury prone than AD is. That's the problem too. Like, what happens if you trade everything and you go get Turner and he gets hurt like a week after you trade for him and he's out for the season? He just came off a season-ending injury. If you watch him in preseason, him and Buddy Hield look terrible. And I mean, bad. Like they look like two guys that either don't want to be there or just like they're just not fitting. They're not working.
See, and you know the Lakers, you know what they're thinking right now. Like, good, like if they're not going to trade, good. More, they made the right decision. I mean, we like none, but none's doing great.
None is fantastic. So you think Lakers are getting over 50 wins? Yeah, I think they get 50 to 55 wins this season.
I still stand by my 60? Yeah, 60.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, I wouldn't be shocked. Is Jake a baller or is he doing his balling on a 2K? Let him know.
2K. I know, and real life a little bit. When I can. I gotta stretch first.
What are the?
I'm getting old.
It depends on what day it is.
Right.
What are you doing, Rob? You're on your final strike. Hey, look, we look good. I'm willing to give it a chance. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. We haven't played an actual regular season game yet, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You can't double stamp a triple stamp, Lloyd. I'm a copy idiot. It's a reference. If AD goes down, defense, our interior, I think you mean interior defense will be terrible. Hield, Turner will likely solve it. Well, Hield definitely won't. Look, I mean, again, we have Winning Gabriel. We have Thomas Bryant, Damian Jones, who both have been block city for us. We'll be fine. If AD goes down, we'll be fine. Look, Miles Turner, again, what happens if he gets hurt? And he has like a very high history of that. Like history tells you, Miles Turner's probably going to get hurt.
These guys have like literally like they've shown that they don't want to just like score; they want to play defense. Like, yeah.
Oops. Sometimes you just gotta hit somebody. Somebody hits somebody.
Oh, I think he's talking about the Draymond. Yeah.
I love when I'm watching Colts game and the announcers say Mo Alley Cox. None of these guys can guard Joker when AD goes out. I mean, nobody can guard Joker, period. I mean, the dude, all you can do is try to slow him down and hand him out. But look, the way to stop the Joker is you wear him down and make him tired. That's how every team's beating him. That's how we beat him in 2020. None of our centers could stop the Joker that year. But what we did is we just kept throwing bodies at him, and eventually you wear him down, and then that's it, because they're too reliant on the Joker. So that's how you stop the Joker, is you just keep wearing them down. You just keep having guys bang on them, make things difficult, a couple hard fouls, stuff like that, and boom, like there you go.
Or Lakers, get Batman.
If only. Problem is there's no guarantee for victor. You could even be the worst team in the league, and there's no guarantee for victor. But to kind of get into the last point of discussion before we check on out of here is how good, and I don't mean win-wise, I just mean in general, how good do you think these Lakers could be? Where do you rank? Are they a contender? Are they just on first glance? Obviously, we got to see how they play.
Yeah.
Come and get a real sample size. But just from what we've seen so far in preseason, stuff like that, do you like our chances? Would you say contender? Tier 1. So maybe not a contender, but they have a shot. Tier 2, where they're not a contender, but they're definitely like a locked-in playoff team. Do you think Tier 3 is like they're like a play-in borderline team, or Tier 4 they're a play-in, miss the playoff team? Where do you think they're at?
I think, well, for starters, I think they're a locked-in playoff team. I think that they're going to be the team that a lot of people are sleeping on. They're going to see us on the schedule, and then they're going to be like, this might be an easier night. But I think we're going to surprise a lot of teams. Locked-in playoffs for sure. I'm going to go late playoff run, potentially Western Conference Finals, and if we really, really gel together, finals.
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
Where do you have us?
I think we're locked playing team too, or playoff team, not playing team. Locked playoff team. And I like our chances. If we're gelling and we're healthy and stuff like that.
Oh, we skipped the play-in tournament. I know that for a fact.
I don't think we'll be a playing team. But here's the thing too, and this is something that is worth noting that I think is important. And I'm even thinking about doing like just a dedicated video about this because I think it is important. You got, which is this, Victor Wanyama or Wabanyama or however you say his name, last name. Anyway, the entire league, unless you're a contender, is tanking for that kid. So you have at least 4 teams in the West that are tanking for him, and you have 4 teams in the East. So that is 8 teams that are trying to purposely lose as many games as possible. So if you're the Lakers, that is essentially, 32 free wins that are out there on the table. Well, no, not that many, because you can play the Western teams 4 times. And then, so you're talking 8 plus 60. So 24 free wins. So you're talking, that's 24 free wins. So that's halfway to the win total that I think that they're at. And this team, and the team last year won 33 games, right? So 30, let's say they're just as good as they were last year. That's 33 wins plus another 24. That puts them at 57 wins, roughly. So I mean, that's why I think this is a thing. Now, look, are they going to win? Are they going to sweep every team that's purposely trying to tank? Probably not. Are they going to sweep every team in the East that's trying to tank? Probably not. But you're going to win most of those games. So let's say out of 24 games, you're winning probably 3/4 of that. So there's at least, 18 wins. So there's 18 wins there. Well, I'm pretty good at math. Look at that. That was exactly.
I know, right?
That's 18 wins there. Because I was thinking about it. I was like, is that right? I was like, oh, no, it was right. 18 wins there. And then say they're 33. Say they're a 33 win team again this year. So that's 18 free wins plus 33 games. Right there, that's 51 games. So it's 50 to 55. So I think this team is at least a 50 to 55 win team, which would put us anywhere from the 4 to 6 range, which would make us a lock for the playoffs. Because also you're going to have some of those teams that are like play-in team, they're like the 11th seed or whatever. That we're a play-in team, but why not just try to tank? Like maybe if we increase our odds, we lose a couple extra games, maybe we can, end up getting that pick. Maybe the dice kind of roll our way. Those balls bounce the right way and we get it. So especially late in the season, you're going to have teams that are going to decide to blow it up, all kinds of stuff. Lakers are going to win games this season. Yeah, they're going to because they're not that bad. Like, even if it doesn't work, even if it doesn't gel, they're still good enough to be at least decent, Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, any last words before we skate on out of here?
No, definitely. I definitely want to maybe next stream even pick your thoughts about the play-in tournament. Let's see what you think. We gotta talk about that.
So maybe that'll be the topic for what, Monday? We'll have to do that topic for Monday, but. Anyway, thank you all so very much for hanging out here, spending time with us, all of that stuff. I really appreciate all of you and just coming in, hanging out. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. And we will see you all in the next one. Thank you.